All right, and we're back with another episode of Inkonsistent Podcast. It's your boy Shy Saint Rayne. I got my homie AG Dynasty. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Glad to be back. Ready to talk. Let's go.
Yeah, so we didn't really have anything like on the books, but this man just sent me a link to the Armored Core gameplay preview. It's just 13 minutes long. Oh, so we're gonna be here for the whole 13 minutes then. You know, we're not even gonna waste no time. We're just gonna jump right into it. Probably run some background knowledge on it while we watch this, cause I wasn't expecting Armored Core to be coming out ever again. Like the company FromSoftware,
Yeah.
they used to make Armored Core way back, and like I was telling you earlier, Armored Core 4 was like the only real Armored Core that I played. So I thought that was like, it was almost a boring experience at first. Like, it's just this slow moving giant tanky thing. And I was like, I'm not really feeling this. And my homie Nova was like, nah, bro, just trust me. Like, just give it some time, some time. So there's this, on the cover of the game, there's like this cool looking robot. And I used to want to get like this back piece, because you could get different pieces and customize your robot. And I wanted to get this back piece, and I finally got it. And around that time, like, I really kind of got into the whole building my MECH thing, and like his power efficiency and his weight, and like which, pieces that affect how he moved, like which ones really suited my style. And that was so rare. Like I had never really seen that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's like what really attracted people to the game in the first place, is that you can design your own mech.
Yep. So and it gives you like your own personal way of taking each fight into like consideration. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no just like one style of one way of how to play it. You know, you can go in there with dual swords, dual guns, a sniper. You can be someone who runs, someone who has like 4 spider legs, like crawling, and then how you move is gonna affect how you fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you gonna be someone who runs in guns, someone who crawls in guns, someone who like plants your feet down and does these powerful long range attacks and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy that they ended up going into Demon Souls.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask. Like, so FromSoftware, was Armored Core their first game? The first Armored Core they made, the first game?
I think Armored Core is one of their earlier games. I really like off the top. I don't know. We can always look it up, because
I'm actually curious about that.
I don't know what their first game was. Let's go see, because most of these companies have been around for a minute though.
I didn't know that's another thing. I didn't know FromSoftware was around for this long. I straight up thought it was Dark Souls was their first game. Like I had no idea.
Their first game was called Kingsfield in 1994 for PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, no, they old, bro.
Old.
That's crazy.
Armored Core in 1997 was one of their flagship franchises. Okay, so Armored Core, they've been rocking Armored Core since 1997. And then I guess they switched it up and got into Demon Souls, 2009.
So that's when I was watching this, that's something like I compared to, bro, because like the movements and stuff, and like they even talk about staggering in this gameplay, and I'm like, bro, staggering's such a big part of Demon Souls, the Elden Ring, and all that shit. And like what I'm realizing is, people were saying like, oh no, it's gonna be more Armored Core than Dark Souls, but I think it's a mix. You know what I'm saying? It looked like MECH, Dark Souls.
And honestly, I think it would have to be. I honestly think it should be, because like I just finished my Elden Ring video too, which is about to go live in a few days. Fair. And this is kind of like the perfect follow-up, because Dark Souls isn't a clone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they saw someone else do something. Like, they copied like monster hunting from like Monster Hunter and older games like that, but like their way of playing the game and the gameplay mechanics and all of that, like armor, spells, all of that stuff, it's not really a clone of nothing for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really kind of created their own genre of how to play a game. So that's why it's kind of like interesting for them to go back to Armored Core and then take everything that they've basically like refined for like the last 4 or 5 trilogies, because they've done Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, like, you know what I mean? Like, now you just put all that into an Armored Core game. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, like Armored Core 4 on PS3 has some crazy boss fights.
Yeah, dude, they're saying there's a boss fight in this. We'll get to it. I won't spoil it, but this boss fight, the way it's structured, it reminds me of a Dark Souls game, bro. Like, that's so crazy to me.
But it's like I can actually see how they put some of the stuff that they were doing in Armored Core 4 into like Dark Souls, or even saw like how what they do with Armored Core can apply to a game that would become Dark Souls or Demon Souls. So it's kind of like now they're going back, you know what I'm saying? It's like this is actually the best kind of dream come true out of nowhere kind of thing, because like you've seen all the customization, you know what I'm saying? Like this has always been in Armored Core, but in like Dark Souls this would be like, you know, your sword and your shield and your spells and stuff like that, so like they've always had the same DNA.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? And it's like the fact that they're brave enough to put this into like a game that has a whole different foundation.
Oh, those are the type of leg.
Yeah,
tank leg.
Racing through this, like, you know, the one thing I always was kind of like about with not just Armored Core, but anything with like giant scale, I never really liked their environments.
For real, that's crazy.
I always find their environments to be like weird looking, and even in this one, like the environments look good, but I think Armored Core plays best when they go like as far away from like traditional expected environments. So like, you know, Power Rangers, right? You know how the Megazord comes out and then they're in the cardboard city, because the city's always made out of cardboard, and you can always tell. It's like the same thing happens here, where like if you was playing like GTA 5 or something, like the city looks real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's the perspective or something, I don't know, but like the city looks real. But anytime I'm playing like Godzilla, King of Monsters or something, like where you find like other monsters, like the city never looks believably like detailed. It just looks like cheap whatever. So with this one, first of all, like when they're in their proper scale where everything's like scaled around them, it looks good. And the landscape, I want to see like stay good.
This shit look really good.
But you see how like the scale is different though. You know what I'm saying? Like I like this. I like when they step away from the classic stuff that never looks good and cater more to like this. This is where the game shines. You know what I mean? When you're like, this is basically my size world now. Like everything looks appropriate, everything looks lit. They give everything that detail. Like, how big are these fucking rocks? I don't know.
How big is, like, I feel like this robot is big as fuck.
It has to be, right? You know what I'm saying?
So that's what I was talking about. This big ass boss. Like from what you told me, like they. Seems like, because I remember one of the Armored Core, you fight this big spaceship. I think it's Armored Core 5 or something, but I remember watching it and be like, this is insane. Like, this big ass space. And look, you find this big ass, like, AT walker right here. This shit look crazy.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it's like, scale can hit. You know what I mean? Like, everything can just get bigger and bigger. And also at the same time, like scale can kind of suck. So like they have to walk that line. Cause like space is one of those places where it's like too little and you don't really make us feel like we're in outer space, and too much and it's like we don't feel like the greatness of it.
We don't.
It's just too much now. It's overwhelming.
That's true.
But like where we have like this scale of how big the thing we're facing is versus like the backdrop lit.
I feel like Starfield probably has the same problem. They're at least the same type of thing we gotta think about when it comes to this. Cause got a whole galaxy and shit. Like, shit crazy.
Man, I'm sad about Starfield. I'm not even gonna front no more. I don't even have to like I don't even have to like pretend no more, bro. Like I'm actually kind of sad. Like I don't want to get a gaming PC, bro. Or not even get a gaming PC. I don't want to play it on PC. And I'm not getting an Xbox. I'm kind of sad about that. But
yeah, it sucks, bro. Cause it's just like this is all politics, bro.
This combat looks lit.
Yeah, no, this shit looks.
This combat looks lit though. Like
I gotta be terrible at this game, though. I feel like it's too much now.
I need that.
I won't be able to keep up with this shit.
Okay, but that's one thing that I do remember like falling in love with this game was like getting into the rhythm of dodging and dashing and stuff like that, like.
It's like Devil May Cry, right? Like
It's like almost stylistic, where you got it like you just dancing between lasers and stuff and getting in there, like you really that good, and also because you know your robot that well, like you know how much the dash is gonna push you, and you know exactly how you move. You know what I mean? Like the fact like you spend so much time customizing how your mech moves that like movement becomes like a thing. You know what I mean? For me, it's just like bringing skateboarding into it or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just this is my board. Like I know exactly how much it weighs. I know exactly where the weight balance needs to go to, you know, stick the landing and get ready for the next thing. Like,
I fuck with that beam thing. That beam what they had.
This is just dope. It's like seeing a company learn their lesson.
Like they're skating on the ocean. This is crazy.
Yeah, Armored Core 4 has some like boss fights where you're fighting and like the city is like sinking, like it's flooded or something. And so it's like just buildings under like halfway underwater, while like another mech is just like trying to body the hell out of you, like just shooting you, blowing you up, sending missiles and all that. Like,
so they've had 5 Armored Core. So were they making those games like parallel to like Dark Souls and?
Nah, I feel like once they started Demon Souls, they stopped Armored Core. This is like the first Armored Core in a while.
So when did Armored Core 5 come out?
Armored Core 5 didn't come out on this gen, I don't think. I think it came out last gen.
2012.
Yeah, PS3, 360. Yeah, that's last gen. That's
so
PS3 gen. Yeah.
Hold on, let me see. What else was it? 'Cause I feel like
Demon Souls came out 2009.
Dark Souls came out 2011.
Yeah.
So they
did
the Armored Core 5. That's crazy. I don't know why I felt like Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 came out like they were dropping them yearly or something. But they weren't.
And Demon Souls was really like their first time doing the Souls game.
So they haven't done an Armored Core since 2012. So 10 years.
Dark Souls is really the first main game in the series, because Demon Souls was like their first time doing it to see how it played out. Dark Souls is the first in the franchise. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. So they did Armored Core 5, which is the last in that franchise for a while, and started a new franchise.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. And then they dropped Elden Ring, and then came back to Armored Core 5, Armored Core 6. That's kind of hard though, you know, like they said,
they're separating it
like,
out.
This is the era.
Years.
This is an era now.
I mean, FromSoftware been putting out this shit for 10 plus years, bro. That shit crazy. Like, I had no idea that this franchise even existed until about like maybe a year ago or a couple months ago.
It's crazy though, because I still consider Elden Ring to be like the first game that they really went mainstream with. Like, I feel like Elden Ring is their first mainstream game. And I've been playing them since Demon Souls. Demon Souls was my first one. Then I played Armored Core 4. Skipped Dark Souls 1, 2. Got Bloodborne. And then went back and played Dark Souls 3.
So you don't think Sekiro would have been the first mainstream game? Because that won like a bunch of awards and stuff. I feel like that's what Sekiro, for me at least, that's when I really got into FromSoftware, was Sekiro.
I think Sekiro was definitely like one of those gate-breaking games. Like, I don't think Sekiro has the same casual mainstream market, I guess. But I didn't play Sekiro, so I'm also biased.
That's what they say. They say Elden Ring is the easiest game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it is.
But it's like, I feel like that's all subjective, right? Like how, like your easy is gonna be different than my easy. You know, like I really struggled playing Jedi Survivor, but once I got good at it, like I got really good at it. So it was like, I don't know. I feel like if I were to compare it, like, 'cause Sekiro was so difficult for me playing. I played that on PlayStation 4, and like that game is so difficult, and it was just like warrior monks with beads and shit. Like,
I have no desire to play it.
That game is so crazy. Sekiro is so crazy, but it was a fun game, and so I feel like that's their
Did you
whole.
play Elden Ring?
No, I haven't played Elden Ring.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like if you played Elden Ring, you'd be like, okay, so it's Sekiro, but easier. Okay. I mean, like, compared to like any other game, like if you look at Elden Ring compared it to like Skyrim, in terms of like difficulty, like Skyrim is a more forgiving experience. But if you compare like Elden Ring, Demon Souls, which is like the first one that they did, Elden Ring is way easier. Like it's.
So what about the remaster? Have you played the remastered?
No, but they're not gonna change like the core game. Like it's still Demon Souls, you know what I'm saying? Like everything's just cleaner. It's not a bad thing for it to be easier. Like I said, I think Elden Ring is the first game that a lot of people were able to really get into. Like it was a lot more forgiving. Like Demon Souls doesn't have summoning companions. You know what I mean? A lot of the games were very linear. So if you didn't beat the next boss, you was stuck there until you did. Whereas in Elden Ring, it's like if you don't beat this boss, you can just run around, go somewhere else. So a lot of people are able to keep playing the game even after they get stuck somewhere.
Finding even more difficult boss.
Finding even more difficult boss, or like, I mean, realistically, you probably just get stronger, find some more shit, and come back and wreck that shit. Like you probably overpower yourself and come back. That's really what RPGing is all about. Over leveling and coming back.
Just grinding going.
But yeah, so it's really cool. The difficulty and stuff. I wonder if this one's gonna have multiplayer, because I never really seen Armored Core as like a multiplayer game. I don't know.
Has it ever had multiplayer?
I don't really even know. Like the one I played on PS3, Armored Core like 4. I don't even think multiplayer was like as big a deal back then. I never tried it. I was the only one who had the game that I knew, so I wasn't even thinking about it. Because this would be fun, if not like ridiculous, to see with like friends.
With a bunch of, I mean, they did have that ally section, but that's an NPC, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be hard.
That trailer looks good.
I do love the environments in this game. They look amazing. They look like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I love the way they like really go into like the steampunk kind of setting, like this mechanical
moves, like some.
You
like,
see what I'm saying though, right?
Dark
Like
Souls boss, like
yep.
it's the attack patterns and everything. Like
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. I don't even know if there's much to say about this. Yeah. this looks lit. Like I'm really looking forward to playing this.
It's hard. It's definitely on my wish list. I don't know if I'll get the game when it drops, because it's dropping next month. But you know, I will see. You know what I'm saying? The good thing is this is cheaper than other games. It's only $60 instead of $70, whichever game is now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Bro, I bought Diablo for $70, and that game is not even a full game. I'm so confused when I paid $70.
Oh wow, that's crazy. They screwed you over. That's so crazy.
They said the rest of the game is behind the season pass and DLCs, and I'm tired of games. But this looks like what?
So far.
Come on now. Yeah, man. Armored Core 6. The first Armored Core since what? 2012.
2012.
That's a decade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
12 years we haven't had an Armored Core. Or 11 years we haven't had an Armored Core, so it's like, man, this year's crazy, bro. When it comes to gaming.
Hold on, let's see what else is coming out. Let's end this one.
This is the creator. The creator.